Clash in Italy truly was a night to remember. We witnessed history made in Italy as we crowned a brand new champion, and we also saw one of the most insane tribal combat matches in WWE history. So before we get into the result, I do want to give a big shout out to a couple of good friends of mine, Corey and Billy over at Bear Cave CCG. Normally at this time I would still be at Bear Cave, but I'm actually gonna be taking a break away from playing Yu-Gi-Oh Edison as well. Obviously, Clash in Italy, and plus with everything that's been going on here at home, I kind of needed that break anyway. So shout outs to Billy and Corey over at Bear Cave CCG located in Northridge, California. I will be there next Sunday. So to them, if you guys are watching this, here's to another week of chaos with Edison, and who knows, maybe they might have some more rarity collection cards in their boxes and maybe in their cases. Who knows? Only time will tell. But let us kick things off with the WWE title as Cody Rhodes defended against the ring general Gunther. And this one was honestly not. This was not what. This wasn't what we expected, if I'm being completely honest, because we knew that going into this match, we knew that Cody had a victory over Gunther dating back to Crown Jewel a couple of years ago in Riyadh, where we saw Cody defeat Gunther to become the inaugural Crown Jewel champion, which again, the grand design of the Crown Jewel Championship was to pin the World Heavyweight Champion against the WWE Champion. And if Cody Rhodes, spoiler alert, Cody did end up retaining, but with a little bit of controversy. But if Cody remains champion until through Crown Jewel later this year, then we could be seeing the match everybody's been wanting to see for the longest time. Cody Roman 3. We could finally see that matchup and put an end to that saga once and for all, because the entire WWE Universe has been wanting that match ever since WrestleMania 40 in Philly. In Philadelphia? Yeah, in Philly, in 2024. And when you look at this matchup on paper, this would have been a complete mismatch, right? Right, because Gunther is at least 28 pounds heavy. He has a 28-pound weight difference over Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes has the championship experience over Gunther, because people forget Gunther has only won 3, maybe 4 championships in his career. He's won the NXT UK title, which he held that for 860 days. He held the Intercontinental Championship for 666 days, and he's held the World Heavyweight Championship twice in his career. Both reigns a combined total of at least 200 days, at the least. And Cody Rhodes, well, I mean, his resume speaks for itself. I mean, the guy's a 7-time, 8-time tag team champion. He's a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and much like Gunther, Cody Rhodes is also a former King of the Ring winner, and He's a former multi-time Intercontinental Champion. He's a 3-time World Champion. The guy's done everything that he set out to do in the business, and there's still plenty for Cody Rhodes to do, and we could be seeing Cody Rhodes at his best right now, which is insane. But this matchup definitely was something to behold here, because we knew that there was going to be a little bit of controversy, and in the final moment, there was indeed controversy, because we saw Cody Rhodes hit Gunther with the crossroads, and as the pin was being counted, Gunther's leg was underneath the bottom rope, and the referee did not see that, and that has sparked a lot of controversy already, which buys into the question, are we going to see Gunther and Cody go at it one more time? Could that be a possibility? The answer is yes. It is very possible that we could see those two go at it again, but think about this. Gunther had to earn the opportunity to challenge Cody for the title by defeating Royce Keys. Like, what was the point of giving Gunther the shot at the WWE title if he was gonna play mind games and not even accept the offer in the first place? Like, what was the point? Because in my opinion, if Gunther had accepted the offer and signed the contract just like that, then yes, Gunther probably would have walked out of Italy as the new WWE champion. Obviously, that did not come to pass, and that's all on Gunther. The ring general has no one to blame but himself, and I have a feeling that Gunther is not going to be taking that one lightly. Next up, since we are on the topic of WWE titles, next up is the WWE Women's title, as Rhea Ripley defended against Jade Cargill in a rematch from WrestleMania Sunday, which, if you guys thought that WrestleMania Sunday was crazy between Rhea and Jade, this one was just as. Only this time, this became an even bigger instant classic, as we saw two of the strongest women in WWE going at it for the right to become women's champion. And right at the opening bell, these two were going at it, throwing haymakers at one another. We saw Jade Cargill target Rhea Ripley's back. It was all over the place. And in the final moments of the matchup, here comes Michin and B-Fab to try and stop Rhea Ripley from retaining the title. But out comes the Queen, Charlotte Flair, with a crossbody to both Michin and B-Fab, as that ultimately became Rhea Ripley's, well, chance, if you will, to hit Jade Cargill with the Riptide. And indeed she did. The final moments, we saw Jade Cargill hit Jaded, and it wasn't enough. It was not enough. Rhea Ripley hits Jade with Riptide, and still, women's champion Rhea Bloody Ripley. And I have a feeling that with Jade Cargill now in the rear view of Rhea Ripley, I have a feeling that we are finally going to see Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair at some point. Maybe it could happen in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Who knows? Who knows? But I will say that that Rhea Ripley's reign as champion has now officially begun, and there's no telling who will be next for the Eradicator. Speaking of WrestleMania Sunday, next up is a rematch is yet another rematch from WrestleMania Sunday, and this one, oh, 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 this was a complete crucifixion, if you will. Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, round 2. I'm not going to say anything else except F5 City. It took Brock Lesnar not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7. 7 F5s to put down Obafemi, and it was insane. I think now this proves that Brock Lesnar still has it, and they're now tied at 1 apiece. This means that we need to have a rubber match, which I doubt that it'll happen at SummerSlam, considering that we could potentially see Obafemi in the King of the Ring tournament, which honestly I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that WWE chooses to put Obafemi in the King of the Ring tournament, so he can win the tournament and take the World Heavyweight title off of Roman Reigns. But let's be real. Even if that matchup were to take place, Roman Reigns has the Usos and potentially Jacob Fatu. But does he have Jacob Fatu? Or does Roman Reigns have nothing at all? You guys will have to tune in later in this video to find out. But huge, big congrats to Brock Lesnar. The dude still has it, and there has been a lot of rumors where his last match could still take place at SummerSlam later this year. So it's a bit of a toss-up. It's a bit of a toss-up. I mean, it could be Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. It could be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. Which honestly, I mean, if that's what WWE is moving towards, then hey, by all means, let's do it. But we'll just have to wait and see. But next up is a rematch from Saturday night's main event from a couple of weeks from last week, actually. This time for the Women's Intercontinental title, as Becky Lynch, as Becky Lynch defended against Sol Ruka, and how ironic, Jessica Carr, the referee, was officiating the matchup. And all I gotta say is Becky Lynch got way too egotistical, because she essentially tried to prove to the entire WWE universe that Sol Ruka wasn't ready to be a champion on the main roster. But people forget Sol Ruka has done the one thing that Becky Lynch couldn't do for so long, and that was become a champion in NXT. The big difference between Sol Ruka and Becky Lynch is that with Sol Ruka, it only took her like what, 2-3 years for her to become a champion in NXT. With Becky Lynch, it took her almost a decade. It took Becky Lynch almost a decade to become a champion in NXT. And this time around, Becky Lynch got a little too egotistical, and it completely bit her in the ass, quite literally, because Sol Ruka was on her game at Clash in Italy, because this one, while it is true that yes, this match was back and forth, non-stop, just throwing haymakers at one another, it was the final minutes that made everything change. Becky Lynch attempted attempted a Soul Snatcher, which completely backfired on Becky, as Sol Ruca hit the manhandle slam onto Becky Lynch. Becky kicks out. Final moments, boom, Soul Snatcher to Becky Lynch, and new women's Intercontinental Champion Sol Ruca. And before we get into the main event of Clash in Italy, I do want to give a big shout out to Chad Gable and his original El Grande Americano mask. Last night at Noche de los Grandes was such an instant classic. We knew with that matchup, we knew that there was a lot on the line. Legacy, tradition, and love. We knew that all of that was on the line. And let's also not forget that the name of El Grande Americano was on the line, because whoever became the one and only El Grande Americano would not only have had the victory of the Rey de Reyes tournament, but would also still have the shot at the AAA Mega Championship against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Which now that Chad Gable is no longer El Grande Americano, the one true Americano will get that opportunity against Dirty Dom for the AAA Mega Championship, which apparently it is all eyes on Triple Mania later this year in September. Maybe, maybe not. Only time will tell. But we now move into the main event of Clash in Italy, as this was... Oh my god. If you guys thought that the mask versus mask match last night at Noche de los Grandes was insane, Tribal Combat was just as. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, the World Heavyweight title. The winner would not only become World Champion, but also the Tribal Chief, while the loser had to acknowledge the Tribal Chief. For Roman Reigns, it was about reestablishing himself as the one and only Tribal Chief, not just of WWE, but of the entire Anoa'i family. And for Jacob Fatu, it was about cementing his own legacy, and by providing for his own family, for his own wife, for his own kids. And I didn't blame him. Honestly, I don't think any one of us could blame Jacob Fatu for having that mentality. But with Tribal Combat, we knew that going into this match, we knew Roman Reigns was gonna have an advantage, because Tribal Combat was his domain. Think about this. The first Tribal Combat match took place at SummerSlam, 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago at SummerSlam against main event Jey Uso. Jey Uso came this close had it not been for his own twin, Jimmy Uso. The second Tribal Combat match came about on the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw a couple of years ago, and Solo Sikoa became this close had it not been for Solo's own ego getting in the way. This time around, there was no controversy, no outside interference. It was straight up two dudes fighting each other for the right to become World Heavyweight Champion. Let's be real. Roman Reigns came out on top. Let's just keep it real. This has been the best version of Roman Reigns that we have seen since he was the WWE champion for 4 years. This has been the best version since then, and now Jacob Fatu has no choice but to fall in line and acknowledge Roman Reigns and essentially serve under the OTC. As opposed to the Usos, they don't have to really serve under Roman Reigns because that was what Roman wanted. He did not want the Usos to serve under him. They just wanted to be a family once again, and that's exactly what they've become. But the only reason why that they had to do the things that they did to Jacob Fatu was because of the chaos that Jacob Fatu inserted over Roman Reigns. So now the question becomes this: Is Jacob Fatu really going to acknowledge Roman Reigns, or is he going to be fired from WWE? Because according to Roman Reigns, there was a reason why WWE did not want to hire Jacob Fatu, and it was because of the bullshit that Jacob Fatu pulled during his time on the independent scene, which included promotions like Ring of Honor and of course MLW as well. You never know, but we will have to wait until tomorrow to find out if Jacob Fatu will indeed acknowledge Roman Reigns. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.